You're rough straight from the start, okay? It's me, Wushu Richard. I want to say hello again, everybody, okay? Thanks for joining me. This video is a rough one. I've just literally switched the camera on, you know what it is, I'm at home. Basically, I'm going to show you some simple fighting tips, okay, for fighting in terms of, these are like martial arts fight tips. In this video, I'm not going to be like talking about any specific style, okay? In this video, I'm not talking about any specific style of a martial art, okay? I'm just talking about whichever martial art you do. Maybe you're an experienced martial artist in either one or multiple arts, like I am in multiple arts, or you might be just stuck, as I say, like focusing on one martial art, or you might be just you might have no martial arts experience, okay? Hold on. Yeah, what I'm going to say is basically, the reason I'm looking out my window, okay, basically the reason I'm looking over there is because we've got some neighbours which are causing trouble sometimes. You get neighbours and stuff which just climb over. It's like trespassing on our property and basically doing vandalism outside and chucking rubbish everywhere. So this is real. I mean, you might live somewhere where you've really got trouble and you really need to protect yourself, right? So I'm just letting you know where we're at, okay? You could be on the street, you could be in your job, you could be anyone, a man or a woman. You might not be a martial arts an expert at all, but it's good to have some fighting knowledge in terms of martial arts and self-protection. Martial arts is there to keep you healthy and fit, okay? Do exercise. I would advise anybody to do some basic exercise, just basic stuff at home, stretching. But, the art of a martial art is different to other sports because in martial arts, you're talking about like using the body to actually fight and protect yourself next time people are trying to lay their hands on you. Now for me, I'm not into like MMA. I prefer traditional old martial arts like Kung Fu, Karate, all the old classic, legendary styles. But it doesn't matter. I'm talking about all martial arts. MMA even, okay, fine, whatever, Muay Thai, whatever you do, okay, yeah. Or you might be just anybody, who's never had any martial arts experience, okay? You can also learn to defend yourself, okay? You can always start. It's never too late to start somewhere. You can always start. It's never too late to start, So that's the sentence I'm looking for. So in this video, okay, we're going to look at some points, okay? In this video, we're going to look at some simple points. I'm going to be logical about it. Now, I've been thinking of a few things before I prepared this video, before I put the camera on. But I'm going to be thinking about this while we're talking. Let's think about it, okay? When you're in a fight, the first thing you want to do really is avoid any fights, any violent confrontations. But sometimes the violence comes straight to you. And you need to learn to be a reader of people. You need to read, or need to be able to read, be aware as to what's going on. And sometimes you can tell if a person's getting more worked up and you can see if that person's maybe a threat. If he's going through his pocket and things like that, be really careful. He could have his hand in his pocket already, his or her pockets, they might be holding a knife or whatever. So if you can get away. If I was you, I'd lead them a bit further away, okay? Control the distance, so know your distance and your alignment, okay? Now, the arms are shorter than the legs, and also they're not as powerful as the legs. So in terms of like kicking in martial arts, okay, the legs are longer and more powerful. They're a good weapon. But whenever you start to kick, you compromise your balance, okay, and you give up one leg. You don't want to you don't want to miss or find yourself in a bad position or get your leg caught. That's a good tip, first of all. But it's the same for your arms or legs. If you're striking, you don't want to be. There's two things really. One, you don't want to go just reach out and then put yourself under more danger. You want to make sure you've got good cover. So defending, having a good cover and guard is something you need to learn. So distance, first of all, I would say, to avoid the situation. Timing, distance, awareness of the whole situation. But then, when you are in a fighting situation, you've got to have that cover. Whether you're blocking an attack and striking back, or whether you are attacking but you can't leave yourself open. It's hard. You'll never be completely, invulnerable. You will have open spaces and chinks in your armour, let's say, But What I'm going to say basically, so I made myself laughing. What I'm going to say also is basically it's like this. You want to put yourself in the best situation. And the second thing I was going to say is you don't want to go reaching out and striking and then messing yourself up with the law. I mean, you always say this is the same old problem. You know what I mean? It's like self-defense. Unless you know you really can't get away, you have to defend yourself. But usually it's like this. In martial arts, there's no like first attack. They say usually you would, for self-defense, you'd wait for the opponent to attack, and then you would defend and attack back if necessary. A counter-attack, basically that's what you're talking about, because they say that, first of all, it's the moral principle, where you don't want to hit first, but also another reason you don't want to hit first is, for many reasons. One is the moral principle. The second thing is because of the law also. You might put these in different order, I'm just saying, the law, as in you don't want to hit and then get yourself in trouble because it's self-defense, but you hit first. Another reason in martial arts we say, you don't want to hit first is because you blindly go in for the attack. You should be like working off the opponent's disposition. He goes to hit. You can read that, dodge that, block whatever, and he leaves himself open. You're looking for the openings, okay? That's what it basically is. But in true combat, sometimes they say, wait, they say the best defense is offense, Sometimes, I'm just saying in language terms, they say, you want to go straight in. Don't wait for the opponent to attack, because that's stupid, it costs you your life. If you can't get away, and someone is literally, or it's like a group of thugs, or someone's raising their hand to you, or like holding something, it could be a metal bar or whatever, and you can't get away, you're going to need to act and do something, aren't you? And you can only use what you know. You can only use what you have, the knowledge you know, and the skills you know. If you might be able to use your words or trickery to play with his mind and confuse the guy, fair enough. But if he wants to hit you, he will. Some people come up to you so calm you don't even know, and you just go straight for it and just clock you one. You get these fucking, excuse my language, these terrible games and stuff you see online. They call it games where people just give you knockouts on the street too. They want to get something from you, they will do it. They're not there to play around and tea party and just talk to you, are they, for a joke? They'll have a chit chat. They're there to rob you, in whatever, let's say for example. So if you are able to get a good strike in first, or disarm them, or something, or go in, or cover yourself, do something. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're a very short person like a monkey, and you're able to stand, for example, okay, and you're able to run between the person's legs and get away, fair enough. Or go underneath their arm. You might think that's a funny thing to say. You might drop your weight punching the crutch like Daniel LaRusso in Karate Kid. I'm just joking. It's not a joke. I mean, this is serious, just distract him and then hit straight to the face. There are things you can do. If you can't get away, you're stuck in a lift, and someone's raising a knife, or there's a group of people holding you there, or they're there and they just won't let you go. You're going to need to do something, can't you? Or you're going to have to pay up. You're either going to have to give them your money, give them whatever you've got, which is ultimately more better than giving up your life. So if you've got to give it up maybe, rather than get into a fight and, But sometimes it's like, you've got to fight for whatever you feel is right within yourself. You really feel it's something you can't do, you've got to decide for yourself. But the thing is, like, if you're in a fight situation, if you're in a situation like that, sometimes you give up your stuff and they still end up stabbing you or shooting you or beating the fuck out of you. So, you know what? Sometimes it's like, sometimes I'm saying, not always, but sometimes, you might have to do one of the extremes, which is run if you can, obviously, at any time. But you might have to fight. And you might have to go in with full force and attack even first. But I'm just saying in terms of pure survival, I'm saying, for your life. Because at the end of the day, it's still in self-defense. And it's been threatened, you know what I mean? Now, and if someone's putting their hands on you, you know what I mean? You're gonna have to do something, aren't you? Because you're in a bad situation, you know what I mean? Be common sense about it, you know what I mean? Understand the law too, but be common sense about it. Now, what I'm going to say, okay, is let's look at some more tactics then, physical tactics, okay? What happens a lot of the time, a lot of fights, okay, you see people get into scuffles, even street fights, you see it online, World Star and all this, right? Some of this stuff's brutal. I've seen gang attacks and stuff on buses, and They might not necessarily be trained fighters, but some of these youths and yobs, you know, and gangs, they just come straight at you, just pounding, kneeing you in the corner. Everybody just pummels you straight away and you just come unstuck. Now, I know it's a different thing when we're talking about like one person or like multiple attackers. You know, it is slightly different, fair enough. But ultimately, you're still you, and your position is what it is, and you've got to remember that. You know what I'm saying? It's like one good strike can do a lot of damage, or one good move, you know, could do a lot of damage, and you have to be aware of that. You know? So it's like, it's not like you say, how can you fight with a load of guys? In real martial arts, to be like a master or a real expert, you're trying to end the fight quickly. My teacher used to say that your first attack should be your last attack. It should give them enough pain or frighten them that it will stop them from wanting to fight anymore. Each attack you do is not just tic-tac sparring, is it, or cuddle match, you know, grappling. You want to literally put that guy out of business so he can't cause you further pain or kill you, right? See, if you've got a group of people and you've got good footwork, and you might think I'm joking here, but I'm being serious. You say, how can you take on loads of people? Well, let me give you an example. Right? Let me give you an example now. Right? Anyone who is a doubter out there, let's say, someone who doubts, someone who would doubt you or I in saying such a thing, how can you take on multiple opponents, 2 or 3 people? Well, let me tell you, not everybody's you might say, well, not everybody's an athlete and all this too. But I'm just saying, we're talking about human beings here and the level you can train yourself up to. Listen, please, professional football. Now, I'm English, so when I say that, I mean like soccer, but what I'm saying is like American football, yeah? And like rugby, American football, a lot of sports, contact sports, let's say basketball even. Now, it's very common for you to see somebody running down the pitch, carrying a ball or kicking a ball, isn't it? Tackling multiple opponents. They run around, they use their footwork and they dodge and trickery, and they use their mind and their agility to escape. Am I right in saying so? Now, if you're in a busy shopping centre or whatever, and there's things around and doors you can close and things you can use, you know, and you've got your fists and feet too, which you can fight with, you know what I mean? It is possible to take on more of an attacker. If you're talking about getting into a fight with multiple people, okay, then definitely you might get your ass kicked if you're not good enough and skilled and you're not a master of Aikido, let's say. But let's say someone's coming at you and you're just doing tic-tac, you know, shit shots, hitting in the tip shot, you know, and saying, and then other people are coming. You're surrounded by a group of people. You don't want to be surrounded, like I've said before, okay? Don't put yourself in the middle of it. It'll be pummeling you from behind. Make sure you're able to put yourself in a position where you can see all the attackers. Use things like doorways, you know, don't leave your back open to an open doorway, you know, as they say, if there's nothing there. Old school tactics they used to do, like in the samurai days, was they'd turn so that the sun is behind you on bright lights, so it's like reflecting into an opponent's eyes directly, rather than don't have the sun facing your eyes so you're squinting and you can't see. Put things between you too. If there's anything that you can use, you know. But as soon as you know, don't waste time. Don't go to get something and then they get you. Know what I mean? Don't give them ideas too. It's like if you start to pick up rocks and chuck rocks at the guy, he'll get the same idea and start picking up rocks and maybe chuck it back at you. So you don't want to give him any idea. But you want to do like tricks and things, don't let him see anything you're doing, point and things like that. Oh, look at that, and then do different things to test him, you know, and trick the opponent. For that split second so you can get away. Be aware though of what I'm saying, things like tables and chairs, things you can put between you, doors. As soon as you run through a door, close it behind you, lock it if you can. If you can't, just close it and run. If there's a lift or something you can go down, be aware, you know. Don't run out blindly into a street and get run over by a car. You know, things like this. Be aware of your own safety. Don't just be so jumpy. Calm down and know that you're in control of yourself and this is what's going to save you. Okay? If there's doors open, as I'm saying, or things like that, be aware of what's in there. But, like, if there's, that can be your escape route, is what I'm saying. But don't go falling down some stairs or upstairs, you know what I mean? Or don't get chucked downstairs, you know, things like that. Things that you can do, you know, anything you might be able to pull out or fall from the floor, or balls, you might think it's funny like the Jackie Chan movie, but truly, these are all tips really, and it's like secret, like, shared, like, kung fu through that. I mean, really, chuck some balls or something on the floor if you see rubbish, or something that's gonna, something that's gonna do something though. I mean, it's not so comedy like a movie, and it's not you get a broom, you say you can fight with a broom, but how well can you fight with a broom? Or another thing, let's say, you have to grab the thing, comes in and just pounds you in the face. Or let's say you pick up a broom, or you just, as you're running away, you put a broom and chuck it onto the floor. Using that split second to do something like that, and it doesn't even work. The guy just steps over the thing, he's not going to trip over that so easy, you know what I mean? Or you get an idea, you're going to chuck them a curtain, you're going to chuck a coat or some sheet over here and then run away. It's not going to work. Even simple things, like I said, chucking water over somebody, it might not necessarily work. Chucking things like sand and dust in the eyes and things, you know, or whether it's going to be something maybe, you know, could, you know, distract you and things like that. But you've got to be really sensible and things like that. You see what I'm trying to say? I mean, you see like a lot of Jackie Chan films and stuff, which is great, but it's like you might run through a door, you know, run, you know what I'm saying, run and hide behind you, or whatever, and then as soon as he comes running, you just smash the door into his head. But is that going to do a lot of damage? Would you, you know, would it be better you just stand there, fight him and punch him in the head? You know what I'm trying to say? So what I'm trying to say is, get a fucking way if you can, get away. Excuse my language, we're talking about safety here of your life. Don't run and corner yourself. Make sure you know where you're going. Don't end up running downstairs and end up in a basement in the dark, somewhere where there's no people, where it's like a small corner, and you just get stabbed in that corner, bleeding to death, until later on someone finds you, the janitor, the cleaner, you know what I mean? You don't want that. Or run straight upstairs, up, until no one can find you, or run yourself, you know what I mean? Or running out into an open field might be a bad idea. You're running so far into an open field, and you find that they will catch up with you, you can't keep running, you know what I mean? And you might think it's an open space, people can see you, but there's no people around, literally. Don't run out into a street, like I've said before. Don't run and jump off a train track, into train tracks in a train station. When you're fighting, you've got to be careful of different things too. If someone comes to attack you, you use a technique, sweep, whatever, you might chuck the person down the staircase, it could kill him, so you've got to be very careful not to do that. But you sometimes say the power is in the one who's fighting, whether he's escaping, evading the attack, or giving the attack. The one who's in control of himself, you know what I'm saying, not being lured. It's like you luring yourself into danger. You could run away and end up having a bad accident. You know, you wouldn't run into fire, would you, or run into a speeding car in a street. You've got to keep your eyes open. That would be worse than the guy who might have just been threatening you, might be an hand knife. So you know what I'm saying, but you can't take any chances. Don't believe, another thing I've said, don't believe in anyone's words too. When someone's being clever and giving you words, there's been so many times where I've been mugged and things, or people that can trick you with their words and act nice and, you know, or ask for directions or whatever, pretend they're a foreigner, they can't understand this or that, or they just sit beside you at a bus stop asking questions and this or that, and they get to you, and you've got to be really careful, or they might be, you know, they might be, for example, you might be walking across a bridge or walking down the street, and somebody comes up to you and says, "Oh, excuse me, is there a supermarket down here?" And actually, you know there's a supermarket down here, and this guy also knows there's a supermarket down there, but he's just trying to get something you can say to follow you so that he can go down there and suss you out more. Is there a supermarket down here? And you say, "Oh, yes, it's just down here." And he says, "Oh, would you mind if I follow you?" You might say, you know, something, he comes with you, or you know, and he's walking, and before you know it, you know, you're in trouble. Beware of pickpockets too. I know it's a common thing and people know, but beware of pickpockets on trains and tube trains, undergrounds, or whatever the fuck. If you come unstuck on like a bus or a train where there's like noisy, one thing I've learned from my experience, okay, and really I've learned from my experience, and I think it probably has saved me in a lot of ways. Don't be lazy with a bit of exercise. You don't really want to pay money for more bus rides and things and train rides, but sometimes when you're in a situation, if you're on a bus late at night, and you're in a rush to get somewhere at home or going somewhere, wherever it could be, I don't care if you're on a long day at work or whatever it might be, but if you're on a bus and there's a bunch of thugs on a bus, or people that try to cause trouble, and you feel that it's like there's not a lot of people there, it's kind of dangerous, and you're up in a corner somewhere, first of all, don't put yourself in a situation, try to avoid places where idiots hang out, you know what I mean? It's just the same as I said before, like, you know, crossing the street early if you feel there's idiots down ahead, or there's a certain area where people hang out, try to find another way around, you know what I mean? This is more exercise for you. I know it sounds fucked up, I know it sounds really fucked up. Why should we have to cross streets and walk different routes and take different ways? on travelling. Why? Because of other arseholes. But ultimately, we've got to avoid confrontations rather than get into them and try and be the hero. But if someone's trying to attack you and you need to fight, then you've got to fight well. That's what it is. And hit hard when you strike and be accurate, and that is training. But what I'm going to say is, okay, let's go back again what I was saying about buses and stuff. One thing I've learned from my experience on trains and buses is sometimes you want to train on a bus and you really you feel that they're not actually talking to you or whatever straight away, but you feel it's a bit of maybe they are. If you've got a chance to get off that bus or just before it escalates, before they start communicating with you, if I was you, I'd get off the bus and go and early and be aware of the situation, you know what I mean? Don't stay on there and let them follow you all the way, you know what I mean? Make sure you just cut off their reading early on, you know what I mean? That's what I've learned. There's been times when I've been followed and stuff and been harassed, so I know what I'm talking about, okay? There's times when I had to defend myself too, on the streets, even here in China as well as London, I'm just trying to say. Going back to what I was saying is, so these are a lot of tactics, right, and tips. As I was saying, don't put yourself between two attackers, okay? Another thing is, try to read their body movement, try to read people's body actions, try to get a habit whenever you are, anywhere you might be, okay, at work, you might be in a supermarket, anywhere you might be, okay, when you're walking down the street, be aware, don't rush, be aware because there's some people who are so focused on one thing, some people just looking in their mobile phone and just trip over things, make sure you're just aware of what's going on, and look at people's bodies differently in the future, look at somebody's human body as targets on their body and places where you can hit. Not that you're going to be attacking anybody, but you have to get trained to this, okay, and look what they're doing. If someone's holding something, if someone's got their hands in their pockets, a bag, and how many people, the way they're standing, position, are they kind of aware, singing, or are they, read people's actions and manoeuvres. Look at someone when someone's putting their hands up or their arm positions and start to learn to read and be aware. Don't look at the hand, but focus on the whole body, the leg position, how he's standing, he's leaning into something, And that way, anytime, whenever you're outside, I'm saying, that way, when someone's coming at you or they're moving, you'll get the kind of movement. You'll see when someone goes to move. You'll kind of see when someone takes a slight step, and you'll be able to read which direction they're going to go. He's lifting his hands. But sometimes people get hit so fast, hit low or swing, so you've got to be really aware. They've got to do dodges and go that way and hit you that way. So what I'm trying to say though is, if it's like, football, let's say, doing football, American football, let's say, you'll be dodging and holding that ball, dodging to go past people, and you tackling, and you can do a lot of manoeuvres, okay, that you can use in fighting, but never put yourself between people if you can help it. You know what I'm saying? There's so many moves you see in martial arts that really work, but there's a lot of moves in martial arts which take away your sensibility, your common sense. Like someone comes up to me and puts their hand on me, hey man, puts their hand on me here. And the first thing I'm going to think is that as soon as they're reaching out, they put their hand on me, the first thing I'm going to think about is like blocking it off, pushing his arm away, knee strike, get the arm into a lock, go step behind him, tread on the back of the foot, grab his neck, choke. It's not going to work necessarily always. You might be better off to just, knock his hand off, shout something loud and say, and just push that hand off and step beside and just slip through the same way you'd be slipping through in a football, let's say, or basketball, and just run through it. You can get away. Don't trip over someone's foot or run into something dangerous, as I say. But don't just try and reach out and do like martial art moves, locks and things that are not always going to work. Or someone's wearing a lot of big baggy clothes, thick clothing, and you block and you try to punch, there's no power. Make sure you hit open areas if you are striking, which are good targets, the head. Make sure they're really vulnerable, really good. I'm not saying kill somebody, but make sure, make sure if you do hit in the defense of your life, or defense, you've really got to make sure that you do stop the attack. But when you hit somebody, if it ain't doing much damage, you're going to piss somebody off when you hit somebody. You're going to get more angry coming after you. Plus, you're hitting this guy, the one and you're forgetting about the other guy who you might be with. They're not just going to leave him. They're going to come and help his mate, help their friends straight away. So don't just get into a scuffle where people are beating your head or stabbing you with a knife. The next thing you know, there's blood pouring out of you and they're all trampling you on the floor. You're crippled for life or dead. So get away, no matter what you can do, whatever. But if you do need to fight, whether it be 1 versus 1 or 1 versus many, make sure you do the fight hard. So this takes training. Martial arts training is what it's about, really. But it's like health and fitness and the fighting arts. But it's like, again, as I say, you shouldn't be trying to grapple with one, tip-tap punches and turn around and deal with this guy. He'll pummel you. You've got to be accurate. The first hit should take that guy out of commission. When he comes grabbing you, you get a lot of deadly techniques, cracking, wrist locks and things, or sweep takedowns, or a real knockout strike elbow. It should put so much pain than the other guy, but don't leave your back open to attack. You should be picking them off, like stepping. So now I'm going to put some more important points to you before we go, okay? I'll make more videos like this too, as well as proper martial art training videos too, I'll be doing more of. But it's like in certain styles. But be careful, okay, for headbutts. Be aware of headbutts and stuff. When some people grabbing on or whatever, someone might give you a headbutt. When you do a headbutt, as I said, don't go forward like this and get your knee, your nose hit. As I said, hold on. Be careful with your nose. Sometimes people go down like this and hit with the top of their head. Make sure you keep your nose and eyes and stuff covered. Be careful, okay? Don't end up, don't leave that open to attack at all. You know what I mean? Okay, be careful with the neck and all that. Keep it tight. That's why you see that in boxing. There a lot of that. I'm just saying, for example, yeah. Other things that I want to say is learn to use your whole body. Okay, you really need to learn to use your whole body. When you're using power moves and stuff, like boxing or Muay Thai, they'll teach you to use your waist maneuvers and dip and use your whole weight and your squat and all that. And put your whole body in when you do a strike, coming in. But don't swing so far or do a move so far off the line. Now you're open to attack. So make sure you can come back. Because if someone controls their elbow, it's the same as you. If someone's going to attack you and you end up grabbing their elbow, grabbing the person's elbow, you can control their whole hand, basically, don't forget. But they can change and hit you from different angles. So if don't go going too far off the line, they'll push you up against the wall and start stabbing your gut or whatever, or winding you, just punching you in the gut even. So be aware, okay, use all that, make sure your hands can come back and shoot in. One thing you want to train for is accuracy, okay, hold on. Accuracy and speed. And power, all of this, okay? Accuracy, speed, power, balance, position of the body, angling, awareness, all of it, It's like, definitely, excuse me, I'm just loosening up again, definitely though, speed, and you really want to go in with the speed, really, and don't try and trick them and don't let them see where the attack's coming from. If they see where the attack's coming from, they can easily move away from that and go in. And they might see things that you don't see. Most street fights, you see people just swinging their arms wildly, and suddenly someone gets knocked the fuck out. It's like, you might know all the martial art moves in the world. Someone swings how to block, and you might know how to fight, but you might still come unstuck. Just throw a low kick or things like that. You know what I mean? You might be a lot of people just swinging up here, and it's like nowadays, so people doing MMA and stuff too. Some people they just come and try and take you down. Even like some thug street fighters and stuff, they'll just come and grab you and topple you from behind. It doesn't take a lot. All they do is they overpower you with their power, or you put yourself off balance. You could probably do it to somebody. Somebody, could just come up to you, grab you by the waist, step behind your foot, because you might not be paying attention to how you're standing. You're just here, thinking about, how to do it, block whatever, and someone could just come up to you, grab you from behind, grab you from the front or from behind, bear hug from behind, from your body, be careful of neck grabs too and things like that, or any grabs. Try to go with the flow and flow out and slip through a hole. Use your whole body, shoulder bump them off if you can, elbow strikes, covering, don't leave your arms out so long to be broken or caught. Make sure you keep it all tight and guard your ribs and stuff in your hands here. Make sure you can catch. Don't be reaching out, that's what I'm trying to say. Make it short and sharp. But, if you are shooting out punches at a distance or in close range, or elbows, knees, kicks, make sure it's really powerful and accurate. But don't put yourself on balance and waste your energy and your breath. Control your breath. Now, if you're there, let's say you're there, okay? I'm trying to say, make sure your elbows are there guarding close by your ribs. You don't be like this, and it's open. So make sure you can cover. Keep up here and cover your head, fair enough. Body movement. Learn to move your body in a different kind of weight distribution, stepping. You know, you see Bruce Lee practicing a lot of different like skipping back and forth. You might think it's funny that in kickboxing, when I used to learn kickboxing a long time ago, we used to do a lot of that. We used to do exercises and warm-ups before the class, where you do that side skipping, skipping to the side. I know you can't see my feet too clearly, you know what I mean? And being light on the feet, you know, moving, being able to change and go in all different directions and move, you know, like footballers do a lot of exercise too, basketballers, you know what I mean? Make sure you can really do that. Be light on your toes and able to dodge, attack. Someone's coming there, just slip away quickly, you know, and bring your foot with you. Don't let yourself get slipped over, you know. When you go step far away, don't leave your foot out for someone to sweep. Make sure you skip and bring your foot with you, or back. But don't go skipping backwards and fall down the staircase, as I say, it's real life. In the hoods or, you know, not in a shopping centre. You know, so going through knowing how to turn, don't leave your back open, you know, things like that, know how to run. Knowing the whole, put a wall behind you if there's a wall. Make sure, don't let them circle you, the guys. Make sure you get your back up against the wall so you can know where everything is. If there's a corner here, you don't want to corner yourself as such. If there's a corner, I'm just trying to say that, you know, at least you know you shut off more areas, you know what I'm saying? You might find yourself in an alleyway like Jackie Chan in Rumble in the Bronx when they're chucking bottles of glass bottles at him, but I'm just saying though, that at least you know the wall there, the wall there, the wall here. And you can see all your enemies in front. But the problem is you trapped yourself in. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is though, don't put yourself in a circle with them, you know what I mean, of enemies. That's what I'm trying to say to you. If there's a way to get out, you know, plan your routes, your routes, you know, anywhere you go. It could be a small area, a small place you might be in your block or where you live, you know, in the hood, whether it might be in your estate, you know, you might be in a building somewhere, or you might be in an open area. It might be a whole journey from home to work, buses, bus stops, and walking past certain bars late at night. You might need to know the area and know what you can use and what you can't use. Where there's roadworks going on here tonight, you know, or there's a few drunken bums that, you know, always sit down by that same spot underneath the bridge there, taking drugs or whatever, and you think, I don't want to pass that bit, but I can't cross the road. When I get down to that part, there's a certain road which dips in, let's say, and you can't cross, so know to plan your route earlier and cross earlier on. Fair enough, you can't always tell what's going to happen, you can never tell the future, you've got to be ready, always be prepared for the unexpected, they say. Always be prepared for the unexpected, but it's better to plan, have some logic and basis, read your surroundings. It's like yesterday there was a mountain on this side and there were trees over here. It's likely that tomorrow that's going to be there too. You've got to somewhat what's likely and read. That's all we can do with all language in the world too, and people's thinking. Read off of that and work with what we can from that. You can't know everything. But that's the sensible way to do it. So that's good. You're being light on the toes, moving around and that. You've got to be able to move. That's very good. But don't go dodging around and you get your head snapped. Make sure you get your hands up. You can just like this, see hands fold, ready so you can just cover, you know, sometimes the touch it, block it off, you know, stop it, cover, open your hands out like this, you know, whatever it might be, just put your hands out, you know, cover, stop, protect your body, you know, use your elbows, your arms, you know what I mean, yeah? Don't leave it, as I say, yeah, about some people, as I was saying, though, they can come and grab you from behind or from the side or from the front, and just step behind you, or their feet, 1 foot or 2 feet, and they can just slam you down to the ground, chuck you over, push you off balance. So sometimes when somebody's coming in, okay, if you feel someone's in close combat, whether someone's coming right up close to you to attack you, you know, to put their hands on you to grab you or strike you, whatever it is, keep your guard up straight away and sink your route. That's why you see a lot of kickboxing and a lot of traditional martial arts schools, you know. You'll see a lot of that. Sink your weight. They always tell you, sink your weight. Do squats because you need to put all that core in. Your waist, you need to be sunk. As long as you sink your weight, and don't leave your groin wide open to attack too for kicks, you know what I mean? As long as you sink your weight and keep strong. You know, skip around, move fair enough, you need to be light. But as soon as you're in combat, sink. And make sure it's all strong then, your knees, protecting your groin, cover with your knees, and move, you know what I mean, yeah? So that it's harder for them to take you down. As soon as they start to grab you, you can just sink and make yourself lower and stronger than them. Cover, block with the hands, striking wherever it might be, and alternate your feet, alter your feet in different position, you know what I mean? So it's harder for them to take you down. Now, I know it's hard for me in this video, it's not a very good, I'm not showing you a proper lesson. I mean, there's different ways you can alter your weight in different positions and turn and step that in Tai Chi and things that you can actually use to actually really do. But what I'm trying to say is, at least get in the habit, I'm trying to say, okay? Don't have a wide guard like that, groin wide open, you know. Try to be natural, but don't stand strong like a little twig, like a twig, easier to be taken down. You've got to be rooted like a tree, right? So you've got to get some root. Make it slightly wider if you need to, or you know, it's up to you, you've got to work it, but keep, guard your groin, as I'm saying, though, and stand, you know. Don't be leaning over, don't stand like this totally straight when you're leaning over. Anyway, pull your balance and things like that. As I said before, things like this, you look at me over there, I'll just show you quickly on the wall again. You see the wall? If I lean like this, okay, if I lean like this, you see my hand, if I lean into it, you see, my power is like not straight into the wall, right? But if I go here, my power is going straight in. If I put my hand here, it's going slightly up. All you need to do is do a light push up, see, and I'll go flying. If I'm like this, see, the same thing. You've got to know where the elbow is too, see, but I'm just saying, it's going slightly down there, see? My power, my weight's going in, push that hand down, see? If I'm standing strong like this, see, strong, and like this, see? Let's say I'm pushing my opponent, it's the same thing. If you push that up, I'll still be standing strong. You see what I'm trying to say to you, yeah? So, what I'm saying is, I'm not talking about a wall, or left, right, up, down, whatever, in, out. It could be anything, yeah? I could be standing, pushing the wall like that, leaning down and pushing myself off that way. So what I'm trying to say is, you want to sink strong. When someone's coming at you, trying to grab you in your body, or from behind, or they're grabbing your arm, let's say, they're grabbing on as a clench, sink your weight. And just, when they start to push, you grab you, you can grab him, it's the same thing, right? It doesn't matter. But don't grab and then leave yourself open to another punch. Make sure you're aware of where his 2 arms and 2 legs are. That's all he's got, right, for a bare hand body. Knees and elbows, of course, and head. But keep aware of that, covering yourself, you know. Be aware of the headaches, headbutts and stuff too, be aware. But you know what I'm trying to say there, yeah? And where the positions of the other attackers are. But when you're in that potential, see, when I'm pushing on the wall out, as I say, leaning in, see, all my weight's going that way into the wall, but it's like, if it's like to the side, see, push to the side, see, if it's like that way, see, outwards, see, like that, see, I push my 2 arms slightly outwards, see, my arms are pushing out that way, yeah, see, I'm falling in, because I'll fall forward, you see what I'm saying? So you can get people into locks and things, it's the same sort of thing. So, when they're pushing you, see, up, 2 down, because people are trying to grab you and say, grab onto you, push you, they're falling off their own balance. So if someone's pushing in my body here, let's say, I just sink my weight, like when you're trying to know, or pushing my head, so I'll rise it up. If they want to go up, help them go up, like Tai Chi, see? If they want to go down, I'll push that down, smack in the head, don't let their head hit you, see what I'm saying? If someone's pushing my centre, so you know where the centre is, in Wing Chun especially, if I'm standing here, and someone's pushing my chest, I'll just turn off, see? I'll just let that go through. When they're pushing it go through, sink. I'll sink strong, but it turns, it goes off the angle. They might go down, they might go up, whatever, but I can see where I can hit, you know, block down, hit high, you know, whatever it might be, block high, hit low. They might be pushing with so much power, pushing me. I just step back and grab their arm and throw it. It's the same way as this wall. When I'm leaning into the wall, see, I'm the attacker, let's say, the wall's the defender. If that wall was a person, it could move my arm away now or block that area, lift it, punch me or chuck me in that direction. Whichever angle they're falling in. So you don't need to literally wrestle with someone power to power. You just go with the power they're flowing. That's the lesson in Tai Chi especially too. So when someone's coming at you, you know, grabbing you or pushing you, stand strong. Don't just stand there and try and play with the arms. Sometimes they can change very quickly, the reaction and change. They go to push you, you go to pull them. They go to pull, you go to push with that flow. But you don't want to put 2 over that. You can always be a trick. You can trick them, they can trick you, or they can change. You've got to be ready for fast reactions and actions and reactions on both sides. So, and you block against that hand, the other hand hits you. So you'd be better to move enough that way. So both, all of the danger, as I said before, it's another thing, okay? When someone's coming at you to attack you, whether they're coming with 1 hand, or 2 hands, or 1 foot, 2 feet, or whatever, okay? Let the danger pass you. You should move to that side. You should move to that side. So all of my danger goes past you. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to stand here in front and I go to hit you, whatever, and you block that, and I hit you with my other hand or feet, you know what I'm saying, low or high. You want to make sure that whatever's coming here, me, whatever it's going to be, you move there. Or, it's the same thing, you move there. You don't want to kind of stay on the inside, so you block that, and this one hits you. You make sure you move across, see, then my other hand can't hit you. Or same with my leg, whatever it's going to be, see, it can't hit you because you go that side. That means my other leg and my other hand can't get you because you're already there. So you move to the outside. What I'm saying, don't stay on the inside, so here. Because you can find out, you keep my groin, you know, just what I'm saying, huh? So, but keep strong, breathe. You know, be aware of what's behind you. In martial arts, you learn a lot of techniques in real training. You learn like to punch and kick from different angles and stuff. But I'm just trying to say, for example, yeah. So it's a circle, and you've got the different levels: high, middle, and low. You know, and know that. Be able to change fast in your feet. You know, the position. You know, in your weight distribution. It's all very important. But sometimes I'm saying, someone goes to push you, you go to pull them, and then they change. And they go pummeling you, going with that force, to tumbling you down to the ground. So you need to be ready for so much. Now stand strong, you know, when someone comes at you. Don't hold your breath, but don't breathe so unnaturally, don't panic, just think about what you're doing. That's hard, that's easy to say, hard to do. You know, stand strong. Whatever it's going to be, it doesn't matter if they grab my elbow or whatever it is. They might grab my wrist, they might grab my whole body, it doesn't matter. Just think strong. Use your two hands here, use whatever you can to cover yourself up. You know, you might parry the hand, block the hand down, hitting the head with the elbow. Your elbow might be able to come in there. They might grab your hand, but you're still able to use that. They might grab your arm here, but you can still open with your hand. You know what I'm saying? Knee strikes can come in. But as soon as you go to knee or kick, you're off balance, they can probably take you to the ground. So you've got to be ready for that too, is what I'm trying to say, yeah? And listening to what's going on around you. So I'm listening to the fucking neighbours out there, you know, you've got to be aware to listen to everything, you know what I mean? So, a lot of things, okay? Reading the body too, as I said, reading, if someone's putting their hand in their pocket, or you think might be dangerous, they've got a knife, or get away, if someone says they've got a gun or a knife, you know, you've got to be really wary of things like that, you know what I mean? So, I'm just saying that, but you can do whatever they can do. So, I mean, some things you can use, some people spray things, police do it, like pepper spray. I was going to say, some people like carry a spray of some sort of spray in the eyes, for self-defense, you know, air freshener, whatever it might be. But I'm just, whatever, I'm just saying, yeah. But, you know, I'm just saying, it doesn't always work. Or even you chuck some fucking burning hot, spicy sauce in somebody's eyeballs, but it doesn't necessarily work. They can still come back at you, and or you might miss or whatever, might cover your eyes and then come back. You might think that. They might even trick, they might even go, oh, I'm sorry, or whatever, and you're calm down, and then they'll come and pummel you. Or someone beside, somebody in a uniform, like, you might think, whatever, you know, and the person comes and pummels you, they're actually their friend. So you've got to be aware of everything. Not paranoid, but you've got to be aware of the whole situation always. Be safe. You know, as I say, train hard and stay safe. Train hard wherever you are. Traditional martial arts and real concepts, and think about how to keep healthy, you know, in your body, energy, more energy than they do. You know, don't smoke, drink and take drugs is my advice, none of that. Keep healthy, you know, and learn how some fighting tactics, how to protect yourself. Stay out of violent situations and dangerous situations. If you can use language or logic, in your mind even, or words or mind, to escape a situation good beforehand. You know, early prevention spending cure, as they say, but you've always got to have that first aid kit. But you know, you've always got to have the right gear with you when you're on a survival trip or adventure, you know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? The soldiers will never go into battle with their guns and, you know what I mean, with no gun, without their weapons and armour on or whatever, would they? It's the same way as without a plan, you know, but you've always got to be aware for anything. And they would never go, you know what I mean, you know what I'm trying to say, yeah? You would never go out into the safari in the jungle, let's say, without a plan B if something goes wrong, or you lose your raft, you know, and I'm trying to say that, yeah? Survival. And it's like, you know what I mean, but it's like, you know, you always use your mind beforehand to avoid. You don't want to pay more money, you want to pay less. You know what I mean, it's the same thing. What's better than carrying millions of guns and swords? It's better you've got a better idea and you can beat the opponent before he even sees you there. Like the ninja, the same way. You're not trying to beat people, you're trying to survive so they can't beat you the fuck down and you live your life on your knees or you die for a fucker. Excuse my language. You know what I'm saying? Being realistic. Logic. Take care of yourself, take care of your family, your loved ones, your friends, you know what I mean? Health. Fitness is not bullshitting around. Train traditional martial arts and train, you know, fair enough. Do all that, you know, toughers and all that, you know what I mean? Train moves, whatever it might be, okay? But, you know, and even your sports, whatever you might do, football, basketball, swimming, do your normal stuff in daily life, your hobbies you might have, or just going out to the park, or whatever it might be, you know what I mean? Flying kites and playing chess, you know. But make sure you keep aware always and be one step ahead of any threat and any possible threat. Reading what's out there, knowledge and imagination. Don't keep being so closed-minded and saying, well, this is this, MMA is this, you know, or Kung Fu's that, or that's not going to work, or, you know, this is the law, you know, you've got to follow the law, fair enough. But it's like you don't want to put yourself, you know what I mean, by what so-and-so said, or my dad never done it this way, you know, and it always worked for him, whatever, you know what I mean, though. You've got to do what's right and logical for yourself and help yourself. But don't shout too loud, the walls have ears, as I say, you know what I mean, so make sure you don't give away too much information, make sure you use what they're giving you, you know what I mean, information, and work with that, and work around that. You don't like leave your doors open when you go out, do you? And your windows you lock up, you know what I mean, it's the same thing. You don't go around telling people your bank account information, do you? You know what I'm trying to say? You be wise and smart with all of your knowledge and your skills. Don't let the enemy read you. Learn to be an actor. Study performers and people of different arts and things. You see what I'm saying? That's the best way to survive out there in the world. Okay? Take notes down. Keep a notepad down if you want of current events, things that happen in your life, or on the computer, or any ideas you have and things like that. Just do the bad as you see it. Why not? And have you put into practice and what experiences you've had, you know, and things like that. Get talking to other people, learn, you know, and all that, okay? Just understand what I'm trying to say. Yeah? So there are more things I can say. I can talk to you all day about using things as a weapon to defend yourself, and objects, or how to do certain martial art manoeuvres. I'll be doing more of that in videos in future, fair enough. But most importantly is putting yourself in the right position first of all, and that's a position where the enemy can't get to you. You know what I mean? It's like when you're playing a game of chess, and there's a path where, you know, it doesn't matter what turn it is, his turn's been taken already, or you're playing chess and the opponent just can't get to you from that angle, you know, because you put yourself in there patiently, you know. You ain't getting any feeling, have you, in there? The chess pieces don't have a feeling, but I'm going to kill that guy, or I'm going to defend myself, I'm afraid. They don't do that. No, you just move to the right position, you know, and look ahead for what's there. Get to where you want to go. Have your goals, but don't let your goals get ahead, blind you from the position you're in. You know what I'm trying to say? Don't let the destination. You're thinking so much about the destination, you take the wrong bus. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can give up everything in this life, but you know, don't give up your life. You know what I mean? Some people go through their whole life believing they've got nothing, but ultimately, you know, it's not they've got nothing. You know, if you've got your life, you've got everything. You get your health. You can do anything. Your life is ultimately health, and that gives you happiness. It should do. Happiness and health are the most important things in life. Are the same thing. The less health you've got in the body, the less life you've got in the body. It's the less wealth you've got. As long as you've got life, then you've got time. And you've got time, you can do fucking anything. Be it make more money, or make more friends, or more pride, whatever fucking ego people got, whatever. Be it to feel that space in their life that they don't want to be lonely, or they want their life to feel it's meaningful, whatever it might be, to do more that you love in life, the things you like, this one life, you know, to help yourself in some way, you know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. It's real martial arts. I'm not breaking and sweating. I'm not doing any hardcore training in this video. But this is real, you know. You know what I mean? It's like as sharp as the knife is, you know, or the sword is. You don't need to cut down your opponents, and you don't need to blunt your sword, blunt your blade. If you look in the reflection and see what you see, you can use it to reflect. Use it, you know what I'm saying? The heat of that to burn down the things. You know, like what do you call it, the reflection of the sunlight to make a fire, or what do you call it, cook food for yourself, or barbecue, you know, just let it survival, or use it to see yourself in the reflection, or see what's behind you from any angle, yeah, or use to see the opponent, trick it, reflect the light, I mean, then, you know, so something can have many uses, a book can have many uses, than just you taking it for the words written in it. That's what I'll say to you. You know what I mean? You can really look into things, see the inner meaning, make more meanings from imagination, and you've got to develop that imagination. If you want to kind of, you can stand on a book, and it'll help you reach higher, to reach the real book you want, because this is what I said before. You know what I'm saying? Yeah? There's people out there in the world who say, I've got no imagination, we've got no idea. They're fine, but don't be closed-minded. Communicate with other people. Look into things, study, find your imagination. I'm sure it's there. Everyone's got a brain, a thinking mind. It's like saying, I don't have a mind, I don't think. You do think. That's called imagination. So look, and you know what you like and what you don't like. As soon as you see something, even something you've never seen before, it's a magic intuition almost. Straight away you know, I don't like this, and you might never say why, because it's about, or do like it. So study all those things, find more, and find the beauty in life. Don't keep putting yourself in this shit and bringing yourself down. It starts with internal calmness, emotion, to keep yourself not jumpy. Find the beauty of life, and then be smart and learn from this, the good, the bad, the ugly, what's dangerous, and you know how to be safe, in yourself. And then be logical, and study from the smart people, the wise people, and also from the idiots, the people out there who are not doing smart things. Study from them, their position, and you'll learn how to be a real smart person. So not saying you follow everybody and you lose yourself, you study it all, and you learn how to lead yourself the right way. You're not to the shit, not to the now, the whole life that you're living now, and make the whole journey a wonderful thing. Not waste it, cut it short, or rob yourself, give up your life to some arsehole, Avoid dangerous confrontations, I'll say it again. Drop your weight if someone's going to try and take you down. Be aware of where their head, their arms and legs position are, the distance, the angle. Don't put yourself between two dangers or in the middle. Make sure you know where walls are, doors are, stairways are, things are that you can use. People, even language, your five senses, your mind, communicate with other people, call out for help, get off the bus if you can, you know what I mean? Do different kinds of things, use trickery, mind, language games, look and see what's all around, always keep open for more ideas and alternative ways, this way or that way, yeah? Stand strong, your elbows, your arms cover your whole body, your hands, drop your weight, be able to skip and move about, alive, you've got to be alive and alert, you can't be always out of breath. Go for long walks, go for some exercise, not long. Build it up and do some walks now and again. Don't just sit there at home on the computer. Go for exercise sometimes, Stretch, take some breathing exercises, do a bit of exercise, cut down on all that bullshit. Don't drink, fucking smoke, take alcohol, drugs. You just cut all that out. There's no need for fucking your body up, you know what I mean? Let them fuck themselves up. That's my advice to you. I know it's hard, there is a hard. How's it fucking hard, man? I love chocolate, I'll have some of that. Nobody's perfect. You might eat a bit unhealthy, whatever, fair enough. Have pizzas and whatever, but you can try and balance it out a bit, you know what I mean? Not perfect, but you can do more than these idiots out there who are taking fucking drugs and smoking and drinking and living their whole life like a piece of shit. You know what I'm trying to say? You might be really overweight, you might be really, really thin, and maybe you can't help it. I'm quite a thin person, what am I trying to say? You might be anorexic or you might be really obese, but if you can do something to help yourself, then it's not like you can't do anything, and you can. And it's never too late to start thinking positive and acting upon what you believe. Even if you don't, you said sometimes it's not enough to just believe and act. You still can't get it. No, fair enough, but you can do something. And as long as you're doing something positive, you're developing yourself. Your esteem, your confidence, you might say, well, that's nothing. It's got the right key for the right keyhole. That's things I always say too. It's not about your attitude, really. It's about the actual truth and what is. There's no need to be afraid or confident. It's about what actually works. Yeah, fair enough. But, attitude is a lot. And you've got to develop, you've got to be that thing if you want it to happen in life. So if you want to make something happen, it's got to come from you. You've got to have the idea in the start. You've got to be positive. You've got to be strong enough. You've got to say, I can walk through that door. And you try to get off the bed, and then your back's broken because you've never practiced walking in your whole life. You need to practice walking, do a few exercises, and say, you know what? I'm not lazy. I'm not afraid of exercise because other fuckers ain't doing it. I'm not doing it because I do exercise. I'm going to try and stick to my word. I do it every day. It's not that at all. It's you feel the fucking power in your legs and your body. You fucking feel it. You don't. If you've never done it and you're just lazy ass sitting there now, you don't know. Feel the power. Don't need to go to a gym necessarily or pay loads of money or hours every day lifting weights and totally sweating like a gymnast. But just do some basic exercise. Bring some fitness into your body. it will automatically bring more energy to your mind. Say in the morning on the bed, when you wake up on the bed in the morning, you don't want to move, right? And your mind's lazy too, you're still in a daydream state, but as soon as you start to get up and you wash your face and you move, you start to feel more awake and you can think right? It's the same thing, so wake your mind up the same way, tell yourself, you know what, I know what I want. That's the drive, I know what I want. I want more power than these fucking assholes. I'm going to do it. I'm not afraid to face a bit of pain or just a bit of exercise and get into it, you know what I mean? What some techniques? Yeah, I've done that. Even half an hour per day. That's all you need, a bit of time. Stretching 15 minutes here and there, stretching and moving, move your waist. Practice a few moves. Practice some other arts you might do, some writing or artwork or communicate with people online positively, learning something, music, whatever it might be, get yourself. You know what I mean? That's why we have to go for walks and stuff, enjoy our free time. You must say, I'm fucking making a rant here. You can live your life in a negative situation, a negative frame of mind your whole life. It's a waste of life, isn't it? If you ask me, the camera's recording, yeah, the camera's recording, luckily. You know what I'm trying to say there, yeah? Yeah, don't be afraid to sweat it out, have a nice shower, bath, shower, whatever, have a good sleep in the night. Let all that negative stuff wash away, keep away from it. Then the bad health won't come to you and kill you. You don't walk to a place where there's people who've got rabies and they don't need to, do you? You wouldn't walk to a train station with a gang of thugs holding knives and, you know what I mean, there's another way around it, you know what I mean? So you avoid that, but you've got to be ready. When you strike in a punch bag, you don't just go tic-tac, you go power to strike, right? You know what I'm trying to say? When you want to win, you tell yourself, I can do it, I can help myself do it. I'm not going to prove others wrong, or for yourself. You are not a fake piece of shit that's impossible, incapable of doing nothing. You can help yourself. I'm skinny little me saying it now. You might be a big tough guy there, naturally, you've got a lot of muscle, you still go down the bar and smoking and drinking. How do you feel? You know what I mean? Oh yeah, you know what? He thinks who's getting more money than me or whatever. That's a waste of shit. So at the end of the day, you get to like 40, 50 years old, like some people, you know, and you realise you've got like back pain starting to happen. Why is that? Or you start getting arthritis and that. Why? You know what I'm trying to say? You don't want to overdo it in exercise, body and mind. You don't want to underdo it either. You want to do as much, do it enough, balance it out. So you've got to have some power and say, you know what, I can do more. It starts with the health, the mind. Get that attitude, put it into the body, do more than these fuckers that don't do. As I say, you know, fuck trouble, do double than they don't, as I say. Do double what they don't. Don't just do what they don't. That's me, I my attitude, I'll do more. I'm not going to do I'm going to do double positivity. I'm not going to say that no negativity, just positivity. I'm going to say double positivity, because this is my one life. I'm going to fucking double it up, make the most of it, you know what I mean? Yeah. And you've got to do it. You're not just talking. I do it off the camera, I train every day, or do something I want to do and relax. You've got to focus, you know what I mean? And when you train, you've got to do it. Mind into action, into body. You can accomplish that. 15 minutes, work it up to half an hour, bit of stretching every day, top to bottom, you know, whatever, a few moves. Okay, I'm going to share a workout video soon, okay? You can follow that if you want. It's a very simple workout you can follow. Just do a few exercises every day, and then a few techniques I'm happy to share with you, okay? You don't need to pay money necessarily for gyms and best schools. Anyone can do some simple martial arts or exercise, I'm saying. Anyone. And it can save your life at the end of the day and bring you good health too. So what I'm trying to say is, you know what I mean, if you want to go really deeper into stuff and look into things and learn from professionals, then you can. I'm just saying, I'm happy to share what I can, and I know the experience I had in my life, but life is wonderful. Don't cut your life short or waste yourself, rob yourself of this by being lazy, and giving up, or being foolish, and being unaware, or just hoping that luck will save you one of these days. You know, so-and-so got mugged down the street, or did you hear so-and-so got stabbed to death? Oh, there's a lot of murders going around here. No, you've got to be aware and say, you know what, that's not going to fucking happen to me. Maybe you really fight and you really end up getting killed, but you have that attitude inside you to say, you know what, I'm going to fight to the fucking end. Like my nan used to say, my grandmother, you know, she used to say that. She said she wouldn't let anyone, even you as well, she wouldn't give up to them, she'd fight to the end, and that's great, you know what I mean? Nobody's better than you. Your life is in your hands. So avoid negativity. If you can't, you need to defend yourself and try the best you can. And that's what you have to do, I guess. That's what it is, really, you know what I mean? Do it from experience too, as I say, but you know, we do need to, but you know, you know what I was saying though, you know, that's just the attitude we must have, you know, we've got to be positive, we have to have that mind frame. But what I'll say again, okay, is, you know, the mind into attitude, go and do, get out of bed, you wake up, you know, with yourself, do a bit of exercise now and again. Do it before work, or do a bit in the evening here and there, but just make yourself constantly full of energy, more than these lazy fuckers. Idiots doing nothing, who say they can't. It can be very hard, you want to be challenging yourself, but that's what makes you the hero. Rocky used to say that. That's what makes you the hero, because you know that we're not dreaming or the real, because you actually have done it. You are challenging, you're like, this is so hard, I don't want to do this. I wake up in the morning and I think, fucking I don't want to do action stuff, but I have to. I know I feel great, and I know that I'm doing more than that fucker out there, you know what I mean? Next time you have to carry heavy things, or you go on a trip, or say carrying luggage, whatever it might be, you know, or for your work, you'll find everything starts to get easier from you, because you're getting more healthy, you know what I mean, your body. And then it will affect your mind, and you'll go back and you'll start thinking, how was I so lazy before? Well, look at my shape in my body, I'm not so weak or thin, or I'm not so obese and heavy. I lost a lot of weight. It might be good, it might be good for you as a man or woman, whoever you may be. I mean, feel yourself getting stronger. You know what I'm trying to say? And you might become like really into health and fitness like me now, and I never was before. You might not be like fitness, guru into and down the gym, no, but you do a lot more than other people. You're in great shape. You know what I mean? And like me, I can never imagine my life without martial arts myself. Like the fighting techniques, as I say, in different arts, how to fight and that. No, it's there's so much when it comes to martial arts. So I'm not going to show you any techniques, as I say, as such. I'm just talking about being alert, moving around, being alive on your feet, using the whole body to cover, being aware, looking at the whole position of the body. Don't put yourself under. If you need to fight, I'm saying, you know what I mean? Be accurate, be fast, be powerful. Get away, have that strength of the fucking cheetah to run away, have the breath in your body. Don't cheat yourself out. You know what I mean? Stand your feet, ground your root. Stand strong when someone's trying to grab you, try to chuck you. Make sure you stand your root ground. Use the elbows to strike from behind you, whatever it's going to be. Bam, grab that, boom, push him off, but don't go with him or grab on, if he's pulling you. Just, go in and close the gap. Be careful of your groin, don't leave it open to kicks. If someone's grabbing out higher, if you can get the knee striking, fair enough. If someone's pushing you up against the wall with a lot of power, or whatever, or holding you, make sure you can strike the open areas. Control it off, use your whole shoulder, your arm, whatever it might be. Trip, step on the floor, whatever it might be, you just pulling into the wall. You need to go, just run away. If you can just run away, just go. You know what I'm saying? Bam. You know what I'm saying? If you've got a chance to go left or right, don't just run blindly. Look where there's an open door. Don't run into the street, things like that. You can con him with your mind and things like that, fine. But don't believe everything he says. He might rob you and then still kill you. Be really aware the whole time, not just from the beginning to the end. I said, from the beginning to the end, you might just suddenly put your hand in his pocket and pull a knife out. You've got to get away. Don't try to grab the knife and get your wrist or hands cut up. That's what I say. Glass bottles, things like that, you've got to be careful. You could, someone could smash that and attack you with that, and you could do the same thing, but don't do it, But it's what I'm trying to say. I said, don't give him ideas. Don't look towards things like knives, or put your hand somewhere out, or give him an idea, and you give up and he takes the knife, or you start chucking rocks and he starts chucking rocks back at you. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Go throwing rocks in a glass house, what I mean? So they say the same thing, don't like Chinese, the proverbs. If you want to know how deep the water is, don't test it with 2 feet, jump in, test it with 1 foot. The thing they should aim. It's not that testing and playing and all this. You play chess games for a long time, and the ultimate goal is to win. You've got to sum it all up, but things happen so fast. So don't if you try and do this, if this doesn't work, I'll try this. I'll try to hit him. Oh, I missed, I'll try again. No, if you can get away, get a fucking way. Don't just try to fight with a hero and get yourself in a lot of trouble, you know what I mean? But if he's open to attack and you do hit, and there's an open area, not maybe he's a big strong body hitting the head or whatever points you can hit, do a lot of power. If you can get more in, get 1 or 2 in, fair enough, you know what I mean? Just enough to stop him from killing you or hurting you or whatever. And don't leave your back open to other attackers. Don't try funky things for show. You punch him and kick the other guy because you saw Jet Li or Bruce Lee do it, you know what I mean? Be sensible. When you kick in, don't let somebody grab their foot, and be aware. Don't let them see it, do lower things and things from the side. If you're able to pick something up and use it to trick him or distract him, fair enough. Swinging a jacket, whatever it might be, you could say, you could grab that and come back after you, but run away. As long as he's grabbing onto something like that, you know what I mean? I'll say, throwing water at him might not do a lot, like a bucket of water. It might go in his eyes, he might still come after you, but you might chuck it, and for that split second, cold water might even be, not scalding, but cold water. Could be boiling water, be very dangerous, don't do that. Then when it's cold water, you might chuck it all over his trousers and soak him wet. Be like, oh, what the fuck, so surprised for 2 seconds, what the fuck, and then that few seconds you just run away so quickly. Don't wait when you get too slow, we come running after you again. Like, don't do things to distract them. Don't run down the door, lock that, cut corners, you turn right and you turn left. If there's something around, like Jackie Chan would say, look, really, if you see like another jacket around the corner, a hat on, take that if you can, so there's something to disguise yourself, go away. If there's a police station, run in, tell them straight away. You know, don't just run to a bus stop in the middle of a field somewhere, a bus stop near a field, and there's nowhere to actually hide as such. You know what I'm trying to say? You run for the sake of running, but you run into the middle of nowhere and you run yourself out of breath and they catch up with you. But you don't want to stand around either and get attacked. You see what I'm trying to say? So you need to control the space. Sometimes you're in close range, and it's better you can win a fight quick with hard techniques. But sometimes you're like living so far out of space, and they're swinging their arms wild, and it's more dangerous. Like someone swinging a pole or a baseball bat, you go and block it, you bust your arm up. But if you like go move in, and that swinging thing goes around you, so you're close with it, and you're grabbing it, tightly fighting inside the thing, swing around, grab, do different techniques, so that works. But you've got to be careful, you know. Disarms and things, if you know that, you know. Use something that's going to keep him away. It could be something to swing and hit that whatever's coming. He's going to hit you with it in his hand. Make sure you punch that, damage that. Don't just block him and go for the hit. Make sure your blocks hurt. Strike in open areas. Make sure you don't end up kicking and hitting yourself on somebody's knees or elbow bone. Funny bone, be careful when you've got to fight. Even if you're in bewildered, what did I say? Even if you're kind of like lost your whereabouts, you're kind of dizzy, or you might be hurt or winded, or something thrown in your eyes, or there's a lot of people, you must also be aware of it and still go to fight. It can be really dangerous. A rocking boat, a busy place or something, use that to your advantage, use the natural surroundings to your advantage, make it happen, you know. There's a lot of things, I know I'm talking a lot here, you know what I mean, though. A thorny bush or things like that, nobody there in front of you, you know what I mean. Long grass, trees, whatever, you know what I mean? You can imagine what could be used to your eyes, like the ninjas would have done in ancient time. You know what I'm trying to say? You know what I mean? You run around the corner and you just put a bag there on that corner. You run, might be nothing in the bag or something, you might think it's money or a wallet or something, you know what I mean? You run and then you just put it there and then you run away. You think, oh, actually, he's giving me money. You go to that and there's nothing in it. Yeah, that's what I say. But you know, he might still come after you, you just don't pick it up and run after him. So you might plan a plan that's so perfect out, you might plan it out in your mind, or you might have really fast reactions and stuff, and what am I going to do, 1, 2, 3, 4. But it doesn't work like that. In real life it just comes faster than that, it's just not or whatever, you know what I mean, you don't know. So, using anything to trick the opponent is what I'll say. You know, chucking things, whatever, you know, running away, you know, whatever, I mean chucking like water, like I said, or swinging a jacket, whatever it might be, you know, get away quickly. There's all just little ideas, I'm just not saying really do that, you know. You know what I mean? You know. So I'll stop this video here, right, before we go to whatever, you know what I'm trying to say there, yeah? But definitely, you know, do tricks and stuff, run around in a different direction you wouldn't expect it to go in, you know what I mean, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Always try to get away, a different route. I'm going to stop this one right here, because there's a lot of stuff we can talk about, and I'll make more videos, okay, talking about certain techniques and training methods, okay? Martial arts for life, no bullshit. It starts with the health and the logic, you know, and then think of studying your surroundings, as I say, and then certain techniques, what you might be able to use for certain fighting situations, as I say, helping, guarding, striking, whatever it might be, okay? Train on, so thank you very much. Real martial arts, talking about survival. Hope it's enlightened you, even if it's not only for self-defense, but I hope this video has enlightened you in some way, help you to open your mind to that better your life. You can take all these tactics to use positivity to, you know, dissolve negativity. Maybe like a hole, you know, just falls through to nothingness, you know, you become nothing when you need to, and become something when you need to, you know what I mean? And that way the negativity just falls into a black hole, you know, and you just shine through like a light to another past that, you know what I mean? And just clean up your life, clean up your act, Josh. It's a bucket, a mop, water in it, make it happen. You can eat your lunch later on, you know what I'm saying? Train on, stay safe, yo.